Hello everyone. This is the next in a sequence of tutorials that are going to get you a little bit more comfortable with using SQL and the Microsoft SQL Server environment. Right now we're going to continue working on working with the table known as employee, and I'm going to create a new query and come in here. So what I want to do is I'm going to create a query that's going to retrieve the last name and the first name from the employee table. In this first demonstration for this tip, we're going to talk about how do we create where clause criteria. Criteria is going to help you find something specific to what your need is in your application or your report. So let's go ahead and create it. We're going to say select lname. I'm constantly plagued by mistyping. Fname from employee. Now we'll make sure we'll terminate it with a semicolon. Do we really need to? Not necessarily. It'll still work. We're going to run it. So we get to see the lname column, the fname column. Now one of the neat things is if I only want to see last names that begin with the letter S, I could apply what's known as where clause criteria. That of course belongs in the where clause, and I could specify lname like. Now because I am really not interested in anything else after the letter S, so I want to see the last names of Smith and Shaw, which are right here in the last name column. In order to see that, I'm going to use a wildcard, and for Microsoft SQL Server, the wildcard is the percentile. Whenever you're going to use a wildcard, you also want to make sure that you're going to utilize the word like. So we're going to go ahead now and say where the last name is like, single quote, S percentile, which is basically saying give me anything that begins with S and I don't care what comes after it. Terminate it, execute it, and there I have Smith and Shaw. When you know exactly what you're looking for, that's when you can utilize the equal sign. And once again, because we're dealing with a field that is of a character data type, we could specify it in single quotes, and I could say where the last name equals Smith. Now, one of the things you want to be aware of is we're dealing with Microsoft SQL Server, and in this particular database, the syntax utilizes a single quote around your character string. Depending upon what database technology you're using, you might want to look at what is necessary here. Is it double quotes or is it single quotes? So here we're going to specify a specific value, execute it, and now we see the returning value is John Smith. One other thing I'm going to demonstrate in this particular video also is the use of what is known as a concatenation operator. Concatenation means to join. Right now we're seeing the two names here, separate, in two separate columns. In order for me to join them, I'm going to remove the comma that's separating my two columns. I'm going to then utilize what's known as a concatenation operator. And if I were to do this way right now and run it, I get the two names joined together almost as one word. But if I want it to look more natural, I want to insert a space. I place what are known as pipes in certain languages, but in SQL Server, single quote, space, single quote, then I concatenate that. What I'm doing is I'm taking this value from this column and this value from this column and concatenating it with the concatenation operator. I showed pipes because in certain languages such as Oracle, it uses pipes instead of the plus. I run this and now I get Smith and John. Of course, I can reverse it. Drag it over. First name, space, last name, excuse me, and there I have John Smith. Notice the results are appearing here in one column. Under this it says basically no column name. So now what I'm going to apply is what's known as an alias. And if I run that, the alias is applied, called last name, to the column with the concatenated values. I hope this helps you if you're looking to do this type of operation.